With crossover influencer boxing leaving its mark on the sport, KSI is becoming a popular name in the world of boxing, but here's what boxers really think of KSI. Of course, John Fury believes that Tommy Fury will beat KSI in their upcoming match, but John doesn't think that KSI's been boxing long enough to claim that he has the appropriate boxing skills. John stated, "I know how good Tommy is, and KSI is going to find out how good Tommy is on the night. I'm not going to shout and scream and jump up and down because I've done all that, but the time for talking is over. Action speaks louder than words. We've said this, we've said that. He's been saying plenty. Let's see if he can back it up on the night. I hope he can. What skills? He's only been boxing for 2 minutes. He's probably got internet skills." Vidal Riley has looked at the possibility of Jake Paul fighting KSI, and he compared the drive both fighters have. Vidal stated, "Of course he's able to beat him. He is a man just like he is. Jake Paul has shown more skill than JJ has shown. That is a fact. You cannot argue with that. He has. But Jake Paul has not fought JJ, and I don't think that he's fought people with the same desire, willpower, and size JJ has." Eddie Hearn actually put Tommy Fury and KSI in the same group, as he doesn't think either of them are very good. Eddie stated, "It's still a huge fight between those two, and it would be competitive because I've said before, and I don't mean it disrespectfully, neither of them are very good. They're not seasoned or skilled fighters. That doesn't mean it can't be entertaining. It might be more entertaining watching those guys just unravel in front of the world." Anthony Joshua seems to think that KSI is right in line with Tommy though, and he thinks that their fight should be pretty close.
Fury vs KSI, it's a real 50-50 fight. I was swaying towards KSI, but then if I value experience, I think Tommy should pull it off because he's come from a fighting family. KSI has been banging people out though. He beat Logan Paul. He's big and strong. Went the rounds with Mayweather as well, Logan did. It's a real 50-50 fight. For this one, I'm sitting on the fence.
Tommy Fury, on the other hand, thinks that KSI isn't even close to the previous fighters that he's fought. Tommy stated, "I don't think KSI can tie Jake Paul's boots up, to be honest. I've seen him there up close and personal. He's nothing but a middleweight. He's 2 weight divisions below me. God help him on the night after the weigh-in when I refuel. He's eating everything he can to make the weight whilst I'm cutting to make the weight. Once I get to the weight and put it back on, he won't be able to get out the first round." Amir Khan thinks that the upcoming fight is a complete mismatch, and he believes that KSI needs more experience before going against these better fighters. Amir stated, "Fury comes from a boxing family. I think he's a better fighter, and I think he's definitely got the skill set and the power to knock out these influencers. I think it's a mismatch, really, because he's the fighter and he's the one who's been doing it from young. I think this is where these influencers can get hurt one day when they take risky fights against proper boxers. They're going to get hurt. As for big fighters like Floyd Mayweather, he doesn't really know KSI's name enough to comment on him."
Would you fight any other kind of celebrity? KSI or any other kind of celebrity?
Once again, that name came up. And I don't really know who KSI is. I know he's a guy that's also, if I'm not mistaken, he's big in the YouTube world, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so like I said, I meet these guys and I hear these guys' names, but these are not guys that I really know. I'm not knocking these guys. I'm not against them, but I don't know these guys like that.
Joe Fournier doesn't think that KSI is any good, and he compliments Tommy Fury and Jake Paul in the process. Joe stated, "No, he can't win that fight. Tommy Fury beats him all day long. Fury is a real boxer. People talk about Love Island and might take the out of him, but I think Jake Paul is better than KSI, and Tommy beat Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul should actually be proud of his performance even though he didn't win. In 6 years, he caught up with a professional boxer from a great boxing family. Tommy's dad, Peter Fury, knows what he's talking about. He's not some dummy. He's been around boxing all his life. Fury beats KSI and does it comfortably." Andrew Tate actually wants to get in the ring with KSI and Jake Paul to teach them a lesson, and he definitely doesn't like KSI.
KSI's an idiot, Logan's an idiot. Jake is actually quite a nice guy. I met Jake and he's actually quite a nice guy. I wanted to jump back in there and teach them all a lesson. And there were some fights on the card, some big fights for me being organized in November. And I said to them, look, I don't give about PPV and gate tickets. I want X amount of million up front. Expecting them to say no. And they're like, okay. I was like, all right, well, So it was all organized. And then I went to jail.
Carl Froch doesn't think that KSI is a professional boxer, but he knows that a fight against him brings money. Carl stated, KSI isn't a pro fighter, and this should be called a night of play fighting, not pro boxing. Tommy's making a fortune. Well done, but I won't be watching it. I ain't staying up to watch that dog. No chance. George Groves thinks that KSI can only be rated on a YouTuber boxing scale, but on that scale, he thinks he has some considerable skill. George stated, people in the industry say Tommy Fury is a pro boxer, but I disagree. I think he's a YouTube fighter. He's known for being in YouTube fights, and now he's fighting KSI, who is a YouTuber. He's not a boxer, just own it. I don't think this fight with KSI is as easy as they make out. KSI's light and agile. He might be up for it, and he could outbox and outfox Fury. Jake Paul doesn't look too favorably on KSI, and he thinks that he's doing too many gimmick fights. Jake stated, I think Tommy knocks him out in like less than 5 rounds. I mean, KSI is doing these gimmick WWE fights up until now. Tommy is his first real test, but who knows, he might throw an elbow on Tommy too. David Haye actually believes that we haven't seen the best of KSI yet, and he thinks that he'll only get better from here. David stated, I think KSI will beat Tommy. I think Tommy will underestimate him. He'll believe, as he said throughout the whole campaign, that he's not a real boxer, but I think he's better than he's ever been before. I actually think the best of KSI has still yet to be seen. The last fight with the elbow that knocked out Joe Fournier, there's not much you can take from that fight, but I've been assured there's plenty more to come, and it will be a massive, massive upset for boxing. When Joe Rogan found out about KSI fighting Tommy Fury, he was actually surprised because he thinks that Tommy is on a whole different level than KSI.
Does Logan got something lined up?
Yeah. Him and KSI are fighting on the same card.
Yeah, in October. They're
Against
fighting different
who?
people.
Yeah, different
KSI's
people.
fighting Tommy Fury, and they haven't announced Logan's.
KSI is about to get killed by Tommy Fury.
KSI is fighting Tommy Fury? Who is that?
Yeah.
Who's KSI?
He's a real famous YouTuber. He's massive in England. Massive.
And he
bigger
boxes?
than Logan. Yeah, he boxes.
He's got skills, but Tommy Fury's on another level.
He don't have more skills than Jake.
No.
And Tommy Fury pieced up Jake.
Right.
It doesn't make a ton of sense.
Tony Bellew has chosen KSI to beat Tommy Fury, and he likes how KSI can just swing for the fences. Tony stated, JJ has something about him where he'll just let his hands go. Whereas, was it Jake Paul who fought Tommy Fury? Jake Paul wouldn't let his hands go. He was a bit nervous and a bit apprehensive and scared. I think JJ, KSI, will let his hands go. So while I'm predicting a win for Fury, it's not with any real certainty. Interestingly enough, Logan Paul actually said that KSI was more difficult to fight than Floyd Mayweather. Logan stated, oh, who's tougher? Honestly, KSI. It was a harder fight. He's just a dog. He's got this tenacity and intensity that I've never seen. When you're in the ring with him, he just wants to kill you. He can't lose. He made a documentary called Can't Lose, and I think he really believes that in his heart, so he tries as hard as he can. I think Floyd Mayweather knew he wasn't going to lose. Ricky Hatton believes that KSI will lose to Tommy, and he thinks that it would be more embarrassing than anything for Tommy if he doesn't knock out KSI. Ricky stated, these are rappers and YouTubers. They're not professional boxers like you. So I think in this fight, he needs to make a bit more of a statement. Tommy must still have visions of doing something in real boxing, and if that's the case, I'd like to see him knock out KSI. Or certainly win extremely convincingly, which I think he will. At the end of the day, Tommy still talks of having ambitions of doing well in boxing. No disrespect to Jake Paul, he's not the worst out there, but he's certainly not the best, and KSI is a rapper. If he keeps talking about being successful as a boxer, then I do think he has to knock KSI out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.